Hi, this is Cindy with the Port Huron Recreation Department. Today we're going to do bubble wrap beehives. And that was a little tongue twister, but here we go. We're gonna get started right away. Just checking the camera, make sure you guys can see everything. Okay, here we go. So today we're going to be doing bubble wrap beehives, as I said. Just taking some regular bubble wrap and we're going to paint it and then make something like this. Looks kind of like a beehive. Little hexagon shape, sort of. From a distance you can't tell that they're actually just circles from bubble wrap. This one was made with watercolor, and I'm going to show you how to use acrylics on this. As you can see, my watercolor, the yellow is kind of running out, so it's actually better for me to do it with the acrylics, which is that. So I'm just using, I have basic acrylics from, I think this was Hobby Lobby, Spring Grove in Marysville. This was from Meyer, and this was the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, I believe. So I just kind of grab what I've got laying around. I've been doing some different crafts lately, so I have stuff to spare. You can get these things, like I said, the dollar store has different colors there in their craft department. So here's my bubble wrap. I'm going to turn it the bumpy side up. Grab my paintbrush. Get it a little wet just so we have some movement here. I have yellow, orange, and this is actually a brown burnt umber. It's really dark, so you're going to use just a hint of that. So I just took a piece, and I'll start over here actually so you can see that. And you can go over these a couple different times, so that's why I'm just going to reuse this whole piece. But you've got this over here to see that it can be used over and over. The only thing with doing that is in this, you can barely tell where you're going over again because it kind of goes into the grooves after a while. So you just kind of eyeball it, and truthfully it's not going to matter so much. It'll blend together and look pretty good. My ears have been popping all day. It's a nice day out, so I'm sniffling to be able to hear myself talk. Some orange over here. Blend it in. So leave me some comments below. I got a couple questions for you guys. First of all, is this the color of honey? Not so much, huh? Maybe a little bit. More like this golden to brown tone. You eat honey at home, I bet. And some people may be allergic to it. Usually you don't give it to babies at a young age because of their allergic reactions that they may have. And I may be wrong. If I'm wrong about that, put that in the comments too, because I am a life learner. I like to learn new things, and that way I can pass along the right information. Okay, I'm going to add this burnt umber just a hair, kind of get it all over, and then work it in. See how it kind of looks black. I'll wipe it off a little. But it eventually goes to a brown tone. The acrylics will also show up. They're a little more bold than the watercolor. You've probably seen that with the stuff we've been doing already. The spooky house we had acrylics on. And let's see, the last project with the leaves, we used watercolor. Have to remember to get a new palette with some new yellow, I guess. All right. I'm not too picky about all this. Other than I might add a little water and get a little bit more yellow just to bring that brown back out a little. So it's not like a tree brown or anything. It's more of a honey. And then it's okay to have these variations. Hey, you could even do a rainbow beehive. That's totally up to you. And you know, as always, I'd like to see your work. Here we go. We're going to turn it over. And I've got my piece of cardstock down here. Put it right on top. I tried to make it as big as my piece of paper, and it stuck right away. So I can't move it anymore. This is it. Going in. So just keep pushing it down until you think you hit every spot, and then peel it up. Wow, that's pretty cool, but I think I want to do a little more. It's not as wet. Let's see. Now that's wet over there, so I gotta just kind of add a little water here. See what happens. That way it'll spread around a little. For you, this might not happen. It might be just because I've been messing around with the same bubble wrap here. Let's get that in there real quick. And it's probably not going to match up exactly, but that's okay. You know, exactly with what I had done before. A little bit more water in there just to get it to be able to stamp. It was really pretty dry, it looks like. So bring it back in. And I only did kind of, I think I did like right about here. Hey, what the heck, I'll just put it down. You get the idea though, I'm sure you do. There. That's okay. Let's see, hey, let's see if we can hit this middle here. Does anything. Yeah, that's good. I'm alright with that. Because anyway, I'm going to set this aside and show you what I did next. So I had this sort of design here, and I took a Sharpie and I started making a beehive out of it. So beehives, I know you guys probably know this already, but beehives don't look like this. Not generally. But this is how they show them in a lot of cartoons or pictures. Am I right? And then, hey, we'll make a little door. This is fictitious. Pretty cool that we can do this. Just to have fun. Alright, then what did I do? Oh, I think we need some bees here. Okay. So, I wanted to show you something, a little trick. So I'm squeezing some white onto the palette. And this is a good thing to pick up at Michael's, or they probably have these at the dollar store once in a while. But it's okay if your brush is a little dirty. Just pick up some white, and then you're going to brush some white right on to your beehive. And you're probably wondering, why am I putting white for bees? You see what's happening behind there on the black line? I'm just making little oval shapes, and behind the white, the black line is actually coming through there, isn't it? You can see it. So what the white does is it does what? Leave the comments if you can catch this before I tell you. So what it does is it blocks out the black back there. So you can put your bees wherever you want. We'll put one little bee, he's going to go right there. Okay? And then when it's all dry, we'll put one up here. One little guy hanging out. When it's all dry, then you can go ahead and add on top of that some yellow. And I just mixed this up with some white in it already. So pretend that's dry, and you're just going to go right over it again. And the paint might be a little thick, so again, you're going to wait till it's dry before the next step. So we're getting some yellow bees. So what bees are yellow? Leave the comment in there. Put a comment down below if you got it before I tell you. Alright, bumblebees. Bumblebees are a brighter yellow than a regular honeybee. And do bumblebees make honey? Let me know if you got that answer before I tell you the right answer. Yes, they do. We had a bumblebee hive one year in one of my birdhouses, and they made honey. It was actually dripping right out of the bottom of it. So there's a bunch of bees, potentially, on the beehive. Of course, I gotta let my paint dry before I can give them their stripes. You know, bees have stripes. Let's put a little door here. Let's color in our door. Use a little orange. And I didn't wipe my paintbrush again. That's okay. There we go. So that's it for the paint. Wipe off the brush. Tap it in the water. You guys remember all this, right? And then get that water off. So that cleans your brush. When you're all done painting, then you're going to wash it in soap and water and lay it to dry flat. That way, the water doesn't go up in the bristles and ruin your brush. Okay. Well, I'm going to set this one aside to dry. And I cheated. I went ahead and did this one. Well, I don't know. That's being proactive, I think. Okay, so you can see that the lines are there. I didn't have enough white in here when I did it. So that's why I did the white on the bottom first. That's why I showed you it that way. Then I'm going to go in here and just draw little bees right on top, since the paint will be dry. Give them a little antennas. Couple eyes. And then they're kind of fuzzy, so let's give them a little fuzz. A little fuzzy butt. And then our little stingers. Just a little point. And if you want, you can give them little legs. How many legs do bees have? 6. Alright. Happy bee. All right, let's do another one. I think this is pretty dry. I'm gonna cheat and look at this. I can put it, a little line right there. Can't even tell. He's happy. He's really fluffy. So you guys get the idea. He's still kind of flying, so he's got his little feet tucked in. Okay, these are different bees all over the place. See, no two bees alike. Kind of like people. Alright, this guy's going to be, I'll put him up closer. Big smile. Big old bee. I think he's landed right there. Okay, do you want to see any more bees? Let's do that guy. This one has a mustache. Okay, this one. Big stinger. Do bumblebees sting? Hey, let me know that. I'm wondering. This one has a hat. Oh, hey, you know what else? Bees have wings. Haha. So, you make one in the way back too. And then you can put little lines in there for their wing, their veins in their wings. This little guy, he's kind of looking out that way. Okay, I turn my paper a lot so that I can get a better angle. Remember, we can see through bee wings, so we don't need to worry about that. That one's on the other side, so it's not as detailed. That guy's got a little different wings. Oh, I was going to say, too, make sure you don't do your bees too long and skinny because they may be taken for those killer hornets now. You guys know about the killer hornets? They found them in Washington. It's kind of cool. But, you know what they do to little bees? They will attack them, and then they will take out their hives, and then we wouldn't have honey. A few things happen with all that. But we've got people out there, scientists, that are actually capturing them. They're studying and learning about them a little more. And they're trying to take care of the bees so that those hornets can't do anything. Can't create any harm to our bees. These guys are safe. Kind of like a heart shape there. Alright, this guy's gonna have his going back. So there you have it. Put a little vein in there too. Easy beasy. Alright. There was one more thing that I did with this stuff. So I kind of just made another sheet with acrylic, and then I just drew on the back shapes of hexagon, because that is the shape of a beehive. Bees, little bees, cells actually. And what I did is I actually had this little box, one side smaller than the other. I took the smaller side and I started drawing on the back of my bubble wrapped beehive paper. And I just kind of traced the smaller side on the back of my paper. And I just went, I think I started from the bottom so that I could get more. Yeah, I did. I started at the bottom. Here, I'll turn this around and show you the right way. Did it like that so I could get more shapes in. And you don't have to be super neat on this, because you're going to get the idea when you actually see it and do it yourself. It's kind of like making your own little beehive on the back. See how they match up? And then got this guy, and it's not perfect by any means. It doesn't matter. So I did that, and I kind of did that all over the back, and then I cut it out, and I got these. See? Those little shapes. Then I took another piece of construction paper, and here they are. I had two colors, and I did the same thing, but with the bigger side of this. And there's stuff online that you can actually print out. You can size it smaller or larger, and then that way you can get two different sizes and do the same thing. But see, I just put it in there, and then I traced, and I cut that out. And what I did, since I had two colors, is I cut all the way through on both pieces. Like that. So I had two. And then that gave me the different colors of the construction paper on the back here. And then on the front, I just glued this on. And I went like, I'll show you. I used my Elmer's glue just a little bit. Put it on the darker piece, not the white, just so I could see. And I dabbed it, only a little dab like that. And I did it on all the corners. Inside a little bit, because this piece is actually smaller than the other one. Because remember, we used the smaller side for this and the bigger side for this. Then I just kind of lined it up. It's not going to be perfect because you don't always hit it like this. That actually worked pretty well, but see, that's a little off. That's okay. They're not all going to work out like that. So then I just glued these on. And I went, since I was in the corners before, I went on the inside. And then I did the middle. That's because the glue takes a little while to dry, and if there's glue right here on the other side, then it'll take a little less longer versus if it was right on top of there. Just a thinner layer of glue. Just put it right down. And you could go ahead and do more bees on here if you'd like. Just paint them on, same idea as last time. You got your own little honeycomb. If you wanted to take some of the extra shapes and do the same thing with it, just put it on and glue it right on. You could make this whole thing a little smaller and make a card out of it too. And, you know, write a cute saying. You could look online for different things to say to people. Get well, be happy, anything you'd like. So this was our project for today. And hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. Like us and please leave lots of comments and show us your work. Bye.